Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over entry pathing on Dust2 from the match between mousesports and G2, so let's get started. So let's start off with a good B rush on pistol round. So what you're going to notice here is that Rops and Frozen, they're going to be hugging this right wall as much as possible. You want to do that whenever you rush, that way you can avoid being seen from this person as much as possible. So while this happens, mousesports is going to be throwing flashes over. Rops and Frozen, they're going to be jumping out. They're able to take down Hunter, and you always want to jump out when you're the first or second player to come in to make it difficult for the first player to engage you to be able to kill you. Notice how Rops is doing the same thing here on this player's site. So Amnak, he has such a tough time trying to deal with these players coming at him. And the thing to note here is that when they jump out, they're coming to the right, they clear out this car area, and then they clear the site like this, and they're able to trade effectively when they do this. So if you see this from Hunter's point of view, you're going to see that when they come out, you can see that Rops and Frozen are constantly jumping, making it so hard for Hunter to hit them. And same with Amanak here. He spots them coming out, and then Rops, because he's jumping, makes it difficult. And also another thing to note here is that as they're swinging out, Rops is here, Frozen's crouched as well. So even if Amanak gets his first kill, he's going to have to move down and to the right for Frozen. So right here we're going to see a more slower, simple B take and more of a gun round. There's actually a mid-B split happening here, but what I want to highlight is actually more so how Rops comes out of the tunnels here. So what he does, once again, hugging the right wall as much as possible before he comes out. And when he comes out, he's actually going to path to the left here. And when he paths to the left here, he's actually avoiding any contact from this car closet area. In this particular round, we're going to see that Kerrigan's actually going to go to the door first and make contact with Amanak. But I still want to highlight how Rops, he's basically taking the widest path here to be able to clear out this closet area, as when he's in this spot, he's actually covering himself from the site as well. And when Woxic and Rops kind of peek him together here, you're going to see that Amanak basically has no chance because he's going to have to fight with varying ranges. I'm going to show you what I mean from this point of view. So here from Amanak's point of view, you can see he's going to fight Kerrigan, takes him down. And here at this point, notice how his crosshair, he's kind of expecting the player to be a little bit closer, as he wouldn't be aiming that far back, as his cross is a little bit low here. And that's how Rops takes him down. And one thing to know as well is that even if Rops goes down here, Woxic is going to be right there to trade as well. So this round we're going to see a spawn drop. So what we're going to see here is Chris J and Kerrigan are going to toss smokes. So one smoke is going to go bricks, one smoke is going to go spawn. Then they're going to flash through and drop towards spawn. And notice how when Kerrigan and Chris J drop towards spawn, Kerrigan takes this right side angle to be able to fight towards long A, while Chris J goes along this left side angle to be able to fight ramp. And meanwhile, Rops and Woxic, they're just going to be able to path towards the elbow side. So Kerrigan's going to take contact on Jax, they're going to double peek him and take him down. Next is going to get a trade on Chris J, but he's going to get traded by Rops up here from elbow right away. And that's really the power of the spawn drop, is that when you spawn drop here, you're giving yourself an additional angle to the player who's going to be playing long A. And as well, the player who's ramp, he now suddenly has to worry about two angles. He has to worry about the CT side, and he also has to worry about elbow. So he's basically getting pinched at the same time. If we look at Jack's point of view here, we can see that he's still looking up top, and he gets surprised while the player is coming down spawn, and he's going to get double peeked here. And if you look at Nexa, he's able to get that trade on Chris J, but he gets traded by Rops right away. So even at this moment here, where even if he takes down Rops, you can see that Woxic's close enough by to be able to trade even if he dies. So here we're going to see just a simple cat take. So Kerrigan and Chris J once again leading the way. And as they start making their way towards the site, Woxic is basically throwing flashes above them / behind them so they can scale up. And as they start moving up, notice how Kerrigan, he's basically focusing on the site and ramp area. And then Chris J, he's going to be peeking more towards Goose. They make a little bit of a mistake here because Kerrigan actually goes out a little bit further. But you can see that Chris J is there to trade right away. And that's really the power of when you come in towards the site, you need to have one player look towards Goose, the other player looks towards the site and ramp area. That way, they're both covering each other. So right here, if you look at this from Hunter's point of view, you can see that he can get Kerrigan but doesn't get Chris J. So here we're going to show a mid-B hit. So what we're going to see is that Hunter and Jackson are going to come out, they're going to creep out middle, they're going to cross towards spawn, the spawn drops, the spawn smoke is going to come in. And notice how Jax, when you cross towards mid-B, you want to get towards this wall as much as possible. And the reason for this is because when you get towards this wall, you're kind of covering yourself from window as much as possible. And as well, if somebody comes out from door, they're going to have to swing out a lot further to be able to see you. It's not like they can just peek like this and be able to see you if you go down here. So really the key is when you come out mid-B, to cross this choke point, you want to get towards this right side to avoid window, and as well to avoid somebody who's spawned. So as they work up, next is going to be tossing flashes into the B site for Jax to push in. Hunter's going to go through the door, and this actually is a very high risk maneuver, and I'm going to show you why. So as they clear out towards the site, Jax is going to jump on top of the window. He's going to go to the right as well, and the big thing about going towards the right when you go to the window is you want to make space for the second player to also go window as well, in the event that somebody's back plat or something like that. And that's how Nexa basically gets his kill at tunnel, because if the player just simply comes out forward, this player here doesn't have the same amount of space to be able to come out. So like I mentioned before, if you come out from the windows, or when you cross towards this middle area, if you can get towards this left side here, this wall kind of blocks you a little bit from the window player. And as well, when I mentioned that it's actually quite dangerous to go through door, this is the reason why. If somebody has an op with the spawn smoke, they can still see you if you go towards the door. So I'd actually avoid going through the door as much as possible. So right here we're going to see a long A take. So first thing to note here is that they actually throw a smoke at the very start. So Amnak, he's actually going to toss a smoke towards the connector doors. This is to cancel the Molotov that typically comes from the CTs at the start of the round. And then he's also going to toss a flash. And notice how he's going to run in, back turned, and he's just going to be pathing himself towards this way. And the reason why he can do this is because Nexa is actually tossing flashes over so that Amnak can actually take this path here, while Jax, he's crossing more towards the blue box. And this is the more typical pathing where you want to cross towards the blue box to open up space for your team. But because Nexa has the flashes, Amnak can actually come out in this direction here. And then they're going to throw one more flash over to be able to cross towards pit. So they throw the flash and Amnak can drop into pit. So to show this from the CG's point of view with those flashes, this is basically what it looks like. So you kind of see how if somebody's peeking, they're going to get blinded, and that allows Amnak to kind of get more of the spacing and the ground to be able to come out in this direction. And the thing is as well is that when you come out in this direction, it gives your team a bit more space to kind of work with to fight the CTs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw, please drop a like and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next one.